I can't believe it. We are on day 3, and guess what? We are going to be cutting all the pages. We're going to cut the covering for the book. That's the outside skin. We're going to cut the cover itself in a heavy cardstock. And of course, we're going to add extra pages. Now, depending on what cardstock, I like cereal boxes. Grab an old cereal box. You're going to need the front panel and the back panel in order to cut it out on your Cricut, and I have a couple of little tricks that are going to happen with that. So let's head over to, of course, Design Space, because we need to take a look at what we had done yesterday. And we have all of our coloring pages all ready to go. And we have the blank ones. As I said, you want to cut up to 6 of these, maybe 8 or 10. You'll have 10 of these coloring pages we are going to cut. We have our front cover, and somewhere down here we have our back cover. So we have 2 covers on the go. And then we have our inside skin and our outside skin, and we're not puncturing the holes in those right away. We will do that later. Now, the biggest thing is when you get to doing a lot of these cuts, we are going to have a few things I want to show you. So let's click on Make. Just going to sort it out. Now you'll notice that it's come up with over here 11.7 by 16.5 paper, and it leaves a big gap. Now, depending on the size you're going to be working with, most of us have 8.5 by 11, and you know, the 16.5 is a little ridiculous, but you can get a 12 by 12 doing it this way by just going with 11.7 by 16.5. But you'll notice only one is fitting according to our measurement. So why waste the paper? Let's go 8.5 by 11, because I know those are going to fit. Now what happened here? You can't see it right now. I guess it just didn't refresh. Let's take a look at the second one here. That is perfect. Oh, I guess that's our blank one that's up there. I've only got one. And then, of course, you're going to go through. This is going to do 1 print then cut per page. Now, you'll only see a couple here because I didn't make all of them. There's the second one. You'll have up to 10 of these on the go. And then let's take a look at mat number 4. It looks like we've got an extra line or so. So let's go up and double check to make sure we've got all our lines. And it looks like I did not attach the blank. So let's cancel this. And this is where you find that maybe I grouped it rather than attached it. So let's grab the blank. It is not attached. It is simply grouped. So let's attach it. Perfect. All right, let's go back to Make. Make sure you save your work, by the way. And let's put 2 on one page, but I still want to go 8.5 by 11. So there's our blank one. And here are our coloring pages. So you'll have multiples of these depending on how many you decided to make. Now let's take a look at our other ones here. Here is our outside skin, no holes in it. You could have put holes if you want. And we have one here, and where'd the other one? Oh, there's the other one. Okay, we've got our 2 outside skin, and down at the bottom here we have our 2 inside skin. Easy enough. But the one I really want to talk about here are these ones, number 6 and 7. That's the front cover. It's going to cut all the way on the outside, and then it's going to cut this piece out as well. So those lines will come down. You'll have 2 parts to it. Now when you are feeding it into, of course, your Cricut, you're going to have to make some choices here. So let's continue with this one. I just wanted to show you. I'm going to have my Maker 3 because that's the one I have attached, but I could use anything that I want. Now, browse all your materials. Right at the top it says Art Board. Take a look at all the different boards. You have a poster board, a metallic, a matte board, a craft board. we're going to select flat cardboard, and we're going to click done on this one. Now it's going to use the fine tip blade. I want you to change your pressure here to more. And the reason is it is not going to cut through all the way for the cardboard. You're going to have to feed it in a couple of times. So right here, right now, you are going to go ahead and you're going to cut this out. But when it finishes cutting, do not eject the mat. Remember this, do not eject the mat. Simply hold down the go button again and it will cut it again. Now I did it 3 times on my cardboard and I did it twice on my cardboard, and I will show you the results for that. So just 1 second, let's go over to the demo table just before you do your cutting. Now we had a lot of board that we cut here. Let me just move these out of the way. So I cut this one with 4 times through, and I still had to use my scissors. This one I put through twice, but you'll see that it is not all the way through. Now, because I ejected it, I can't put it back in and get it in the exact same spot. So what I like to do for this one, and you're going to have to do that probably the same, I just insert my scissors right along that slot and just cut the piece right out. And because I also had the holes cutting, I ran into a problem, of course, getting that to go through. This doesn't take too long to go ahead and cut these out because they do bend in the right place. Let me just cut that off so it's out of the way. I'm just going to cut this exactly where I want it. The rough edges don't matter because we're going to be putting a skin on this anyway tomorrow. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's just grab this, and I'm just going to show you what to do, of course, with the holes that were cut. And I have to cut the side as well because that one didn't cut through either. That was 2 passes, just not enough. 4 seems to work the best. So what happens now is when you are cutting this on the cardboard, do not eject the mat, but simply hold down the go key for each of the passes you want. Now this only came out partially, so what I did was just use my scissors to try and poke this through. Now it doesn't seem to be wanting to poke through because this is what you're going to have to do with it as well. I am going to pull out my little tool kit here. I have a tool kit that has all of my things inside. And I want to have this guy. This is a straight one. Just move this out of our way. So this is another reason why it's a little tougher. So I'm just going to poke down on it until I can get it to release. And it will snap at some point. It can be rough edges because we are going to cover this up. There we go. It finally popped through. Not to worry, rough edges. It's got some rough edges in there. You're going to have to do the same with both of them, especially if you don't allow it to pass through as many times as you would like. The Cricut is wonderful, but it doesn't always do everything that you want. It is pretty close to what you need. And then I can just pull it from the other side. It's going to be a really rough cut on this one, but that's okay. We'll put all of this stuff together tomorrow. So go ahead and get all of your stuff cut out. Just use my scissors here and just grab this off the back. And now we are ready. So that is all I wanted to show you when it comes to having things cut out with your Cricut, especially a flat cardboard. And of course I used a cereal box, which I really love using because it's stiff enough. All right, tomorrow, another day is finally here. We are going to put everything together. We're going to do an assembly and then show then tell. We're going to be gluing the covering to the cover, the inside and the outside. We are going to align the punch holes, making adjustments, threading the ribbon correctly. We're going to press the book to make sure it stays flat. And of course, you're going to take a few pictures. So I will see you tomorrow for the last part of this class.